Alright guys, time for next part. The morning sun declared the arrival of a new day and woke me from my vivid dreams. Memories of my home enclosed within the towering perimeter wall raced through my head. The peaceful landscape outside the apartment window stood in defiance of these old thoughts. Rolling hills and blue sky were familiar to me now, and the purity of the sight gave me hope. Oh, Horizon, please come with me. What's going on? You sound serious. Chief will explain everything once we arrive. Okay. Oi, Chief. Horizon is
Thank you, Sebastian. You can deal with the situation here while I talk to Horizon, alright?
Yeah, of course.
Horizon, I've got some really bad news.
Well, what is it?
You know Anna, right?
I've met her, yeah.
Sorry, I don't know how to say this.
Oh. Those few words were enough. Dread sank in. I already knew.
Don't.
I ignored his words and walked past him. Oh. Well, that's not Gucci. And I turned the corner. There was no mistaking her. Anna was haphazardly covered by a sheet, leaving her tail and blood-stained hand exposed. In the end, she didn't even deserve full discretion.
Are you okay?
Well, I didn't meet her much, but I don't know.
Is there anything I can do?
Let's just get this over with. Bryce gave me a concerned look and then nodded.
And there's more bad news. The blood we found on the victim in town matches the DNA evidence found on the second victim at the power facility.
Wait. The blood we found on the first victim matches the DNA evidence found on the second victim. So does that mean they got injured each time?
Furthermore, the murder weapon the murder weapon and method appears to be the same across all three victims. And that's going to be a big problem for you.
Why is that?
Because of these three murders, Reza now qualifies as a serial killer. We won't be able to keep this whole thing quiet for much longer. Our authorities, including the ministry in charge of the whole visit, will know about this soon. I have no idea what will happen once they do.
I'm not too sure what to say about that.
I don't want to worry you, but we can be sure that action will be taken soon. I've been considering this possibility for a while, and think it may be best if you went back to your own world for now. This way, we can take action before the ministry does, and before this all becomes public. If we wait, we don't know what they'll do or how the public will react. Whatever is going on is too dangerous for you to stay here.
No. This would be the worst possible time for me to leave. We've given up our PDAs and hardly have anything to show for it. We are owned several more generators, and let's not forget that Ray's is still missing. If I leave now, the only thing I turn home with is my life. I'll have lost everything else. We need those generators, Bryce. I have no idea if your authorities will continue to uphold our deal, or what they do to Reza, but I'm not leaving until this is over.
If that's your decision, then so be it. Anyway, let's get back on track. I called you here for a reason, Horizon. In addition to the murder, several things were stolen. Among them, your PDAs, batteries, and some components used to build generators. Does that ring any bells?
Not really. Reza might have some knowledge of the electronics, but I doubt he has enough to assemble one of your generators, even if he had the parts.
Strange. Even so, it's fair to assume Reza's involvement at this point. No one else has a greater motive to steal the PDAs, especially after what happened between him and Maverick.
Unless someone wanted to frame Reza in order to sabotage his whole operation.
Do you really believe that?
Hey, I'm not saying that's possible.
I'll shelf the idea under possible, but unlikely.
Oi, Chief, are we done here?
Pretty much. Why do you ask?
We got a message from the higher-ups. You and Horizon are to report to the Ministry of Culture and Arts immediately.
Immediately? As in, right now?
Yeah, apparently. What's going on?
To be frank, I don't know. It's an extraordinary situation, and now it's getting out of hand. They must want to address it.
It's the worst possibility. Maybe it's not going to be a big deal. Maybe they're going to throw some surprise by us. So, worst possibility. Yeah. If you expect the worst, at least you won't be disappointed. Sebastian, you can finish up here and go to ministry when you're done. We'll probably have to make some arrangement after this meeting. Sure thing, Chief. Let's go then, shall we? It's not like I have much of a choice. That was... Alright. No deep voice. That was quicker than I expected. Jesus Christ. How did I get your... How did I do your voice last time? I know how I did it. But... how did I do it? That was quicker than I expected. I wouldn't have minded waiting out here a little longer.
Greetings, Minister.
Greetings.
Shall we go inside for our official business?
No. I got everything I need right here. It gets so stuffy inside on hot days. My sister doesn't seem to mind, but I prefer the fresh air. I'd rather just sit right here unless you have any objections.
I don't.
I see. Well, I haven't exactly been up to date in regards to Razor's sudden disappearance, but I get a message today that he is a confirmed serial killer. It was quite shocking. Frankly, I'm curious as to why the facts of this case have been withheld from me for so long.
Simply because
You're not. Come on back.
Simply because they weren't within your jurisdiction. The murders were strictly a police matter. Only with the amount of new evidence, namely the DNA and blood we found on these three murders, now being linked together, and to him did your ministry have to become involved.
I see. So Razor's involvement here is now undeniable.
I'm afraid so, Minister.
Facts are nothing to be afraid of, though in light of this, I'm starting to worry about my personal safety.
With our thick hides, I don't think our species has much to fear if we consider the murder weapon.
Speak for yourself. You don't think someone of my standing needs protection?
Oh, for sure. If you are worried about your personal safety, we could look into an escort for you.
Good. Considering all the murders that took place during the night, I'll certainly need it. Long days are endemic in my line of work. But that's enough about now. About myself. Now we face the question of what should be done about Razor and Horizon.
Minister, we continue our hunt for Razor every day. As a matter of fact, Horizon has been helping us do so for a while now.
Is that so? One human a murderer, another a detective. Interesting. And how do we know Horizon isn't following a similar plan to Razor's, whatever that may be?
Similar concerns were leveled by Razor's escort, Maverick. It was his observation that caused Razor to run away in the first place.
Let the human talk for once, Chief. Please, Horizon, enlighten me. You and Razor came here on the same mission, and the situation has escalated beyond expectations. What you tell me now will determine the actions I'll take on this matter. Maybe you should start by telling your side of the events from the beginning. Razor was fine during his early days here. Things only went wrong after you arrived. Over my mouth, but Bryce spoke first, determined to defend me.
Arguably, the problems that caused all this were apparent even then.
How so?
Maverick suspected Razor of planning something, but I didn't think he had a case.
Well, did he?
No, that what he had was a suspicion. The night he followed Razor, he found both him and Horizon at the portal. The humans intended to send one of the promised generators through, but there was confrontation, and both Maverick and Horizon wounded, and Razor running away. Razor's been missing ever since.
I read the reports already, Chief. The question is, did Maverick cause this, or did he just fail to prevent it?
I have no way of knowing that, Minister.
You mentioned in your report your apparent knowledge of the problems back then.
Problems may not have been the right word. Let's just say Maverick's attitude was not helpful during the encounter.
Why did you choose Maverick as his escort in the first place?
Protection for the human ambassador was my greatest concern when I made that decision. Maverick was the most capable individual in that regard.
Well, that worked out nicely, didn't it? You also seem to think that Maverick should remain Riz's escort. Is that true?
Yes. Had I paid more attention to the warning signs, the situation may have been avoided.
Do you accept responsibility for the incident?
Yes, Minister.
I see. Now, let us get back to the topic of Horizon. Razor was your partner in humanity's mission to come to this world. His list of criminal activities not only included murder, but also theft of generators, electronic components, and the PDAs your people gave us. I understand why Bryce would reason that you could help the investigation, but we have no other choice to be suspicious of Razor's partner. What was your motivation when you agreed to help us?
I just want to say no, it's my best.
I can speak. Jesus. It is my best bet at finding the truth. It is beneficial to my actual mission.
What are you asking again? Investigation, but you know, the choice to be partner or is there motivation to help us? I don't want to say no, I don't want to do that one. It's my best bet at finding the truth. It's beneficial to my actual mission. Both of these kind of work, but honestly, and the whole time we've been here, we've done nothing to do with the actual mission besides the beginning, so we're gonna go with that one. Yes.
I thought Razor's involvement was undeniable at this point.
It may be true, but we still don't have the whole picture. We don't know if others are involved or his reasons. I just want to know why.
I see. Well, after reading up on the whole situation and hearing both of your accounts, I believe that Horizon is trustworthy. Nevertheless, I think Horizon presents a great risk.
Why is that?
After this meeting, I will hold a press conference to inform the public of the current situation. The people must know the danger posed by Horizon. No matter what Bryce and I think about your involvement, the public could feel differently. You, he, and Bryce will have to face the backlash resulting from this information becoming public. And with more Horizon, you might be in real danger yourself. Reza himself may come to silence. Reza himself may come to silence you once he learns that you are helping us, or consider the public uproar from those who would question him. Or consider the public uproar from those who would question your involvement. All things considered, it would be for the best. It'd be for the best if you return to your own world until the situation has been resolved.
I came to the very same conclusion, Minister.
Then, with your support, this is what shall be done.
Please, don't.
You don't agree?
If you send me back now, this diplomatic relationship is over. I'd have to admit defeat to humanity, and there's no way I can return without your generators, or PDAs, or Reza.
You could explain to them what a great choice of ambassador Reza was.
But I was his partner, so in a way, he's my responsibility. I can't just go back like this.
I'm afraid that's not enough. It certainly doesn't outweigh our reasons for sending you home.
Just let me explain. I'll tell you everything. Years ago, our world was prosperous. Our technology was far more advanced than yours, even. Computers not only graced every household, but every single person. It was the age of information. Even children had the power to access the most advanced knowledge at their fingertips. With our PDAs, our interconnectedness with other people and our environment was greater than ever. From locomotion to repetitious work and household chores, many processes were automated to such a degree that, except for our jobs and hobbies, there was nothing that needed to be done by a person anymore. Even the concept of someone wielding a weapon was outdated, as wars were no longer fought by people, but machines. Looking back, it was probably the single most prosperous time in human history. Exploitation of the environment and other people was at an all-time low, as was crime. Conversely, our technology advancements had drastically increased quality of life. Humans were no longer required for strenuous and repetitive tasks. Education had reached an all-time high, and many new jobs were created. General happiness had reached levels never seen. Yet one day, everything changed. Oh yeah, the sun was gonna go sicko mode, wasn't it? Oh, I guess it's different. A solar flare that was headed for Earth was detected by an automated monitoring system.
It was also determined to be so powerful that it dwarfed all others ever recorded in history. That is true, actually. We do, the solar lights are solar flares from the sun. They're just not that strong. But if we were to receive a stronger solar flare, bye-bye technology for a while. We had less than a week to prepare. Chaos hit much earlier than that, as people scrambled to shield themselves and their possessions from the incoming ion storm. On the worldwide level, power lines were switched off, satellites reoriented in space, and planes grounded to mitigate the effects that would hit us. Despite humanity's contingency plan for such an event and all our efforts, we were still not prepared for the sheer magnitude of the solar flare that arrived. It's only then, with our race, when our race becomes so dependent on technology, that we were immeasurably vulnerable against this kind of disaster. That day, a force with the power of 10 billion Hiroshima bombs was unleashed into our atmosphere. They don't know what... First off, Hiroshima was not a bomb, it was a place. Second off, they wouldn't know what that is. Alright. The eyewitness reports from this day were varied as they were terrifying. Oh shit, kind of messed that one up. Whatever, I don't think I'm gonna use it anyway. A huge, beautiful aurora could be seen on the horizon before fireballs hurled across the sky. In some places, these lights had become so bright that even those asleep at night awoke, as though day had already arrived. Coronal mass ejected. Yeah, my fucking god. A coronal mass ejection by itself did not have the power to kill anyone directly, but the side effects were disastrous. After the lights in the sky arrived, sparks showered from the electrical outlets everywhere, igniting rampant fires in every town and city. Facilities that stored weapons, fireworks, and other explosives became centers of widespread destruction and loss of life. During the next stage, the solar flare started to affect body modifications and caused commonplace pacemakers and nanomachines to fail. Nanomachines, son. 15% of the world's population died as a result of this alone. Once the full power of the waves hit us, however, society as we knew it collapsed in one fell swoop. Power grids on Earth shut down in an instant, as did the machines that automated our routine tasks. Long-distance communication and transport became a thing of the past. Without electrical power, the quality of healthcare plummeted, and water and sewage systems were crippled. Diseases we thought defeated centuries ago made their comeback in a most unsightly fashion. Many thought the end of the world had arrived, and in a way it had. Some people blamed whoever their belief system would allow, angry at the gods that had forsaken them. Others pointed their finger at our lifestyle and society, not that anyone was listening. Practically, we're back in the Middle Ages. Governments collapsed, and they just don't know what Middle Ages are. Governments collapsed and were overthrown, and ensuing power vacuums filled with groups of people that were sometimes organized and sometimes not. The few functioning electronic devices left behind became rare, sought after artifacts over which battles and even wars were fought. Of course, there was also wars over resources and territory. The weaponry used was improvised or reclaimed from the days when humans had been present on the battlefield. It had been ages, but people returned to the old bloody ways of war. Humanity is in shambles now. Those that I'd call family and friends now live with me in a giant, mostly self-sufficient city-state of survivors. A huge wall around the perimeter guarded by militia prevents any outside interference. The only way we can retain a God, I read this before. Modicum of order. Gangs of raiders and looters run rampant on the outside. They wouldn't hesitate to kill first and ask questions later if they had known about my PDA. Our contained community has flourished for years now. We have homes to live in, crops to grow, and livestock to raise, and we still have our own automated hospital that runs on salvage generators. Lately, though, supplies have been starting to run low, and dangerously so. The power we have is running out. Illnesses are spreading throughout this city, and treatment isn't as available as it used to be. Our population is dropping by the day. Took a great risk to increase the radius of our scouting missions, desperate to find something outside the wall that could help us. You already know the rest of the story. We found the portal, and you. And now you know why this whole thing is so important to me. Our hopes lie in acquiring the generators you promised us. The act of sending Reza and me here has, without a doubt, already cost the lives of some people back home. Beyond the city walls is a dead zone. We haven't heard from any other settlements for months now. The state of rest of our world is unknown. When Reza and I were sent here, my peers made it clear that this was our last chance. If anything happens to us, no more people will be sent. If we can't manage to bring back something that will help, we'll have sealed the fate of tens of thousands that live in our city. I'm sorry, Reza. I didn't know. If what you're telling me is true, it unfortunately does not work in your favor. As sad as the situation may be, it gives Reza a motive. Desperate times call for desperate measures after all. Speak, Beck. In that vein, it also gives you a motive. Considering the gravity of the human plight, it gives you all the more reason to cooperate with him. I'm not. What Reza is doing is wrong. You can't send me away under these circumstances, because I'm your best bet at finding him. You know, I just realized, right? What if the other person, right, that may or may not be Reza? That could mean that another place found a portal and came through, right? Kind of far out there, though, I guess. Even so, you would still be in grave danger after we announce Reza's involvement in the murders. I cannot and will not take responsibility for the consequences when I know of the risks. What about our deal then? In the wake of this new information, with a sign of goodwill, we will send the generators you are owed. Owed to the portal once it's over, under two conditions. Humanity must condemn Reza's actions, and we must reclaim the stolen PDAs. I've changed my mind. You should let Horizon stay here. I read that right, yeah. Why can't I? I know. I cannot take your word under considerations for this matter, Chief. Taking into account Maverick's actions and your responsibility for them, you will have to be dealt with separately. With my authority as Minister in charge of this human visit, my decision is to have Horizon sent back to the human world with the portal. Please. Immediately. Chief, please arrange for an escort to take Horizon to the portal now. I can do it myself, Minister. Well, we have our own matters to discuss, Chief, and I would rather get that over with as quickly as possible. In that case, one of my officers should be here any moment. I need for him to meet us here. How handy. Let us wait for this officer of yours. It didn't take long for Sebastian to arrive. After the situation was explained, he was visibly shocked, but didn't protest when he was given the task of sending me back to the portal. Let's go, Horizon. Don't I even get to say goodbye? Let's not waste any more time. You will still be free to send others after you arrived on the other side. Just go, Horizon. Come on, then. We were silent as Sebastian and I slowly made our way to the portal. With each step I took, I drew closer and closer to the hopelessness waiting for me in the ruins of the human world. After all in all, I certainly had a unique experience alongside these dragons. And although this place was filled with just as much drama as murders back home, I remember this world and all the people I met. I fondly think back to the days I spent in their comfortable standard of living, the shadow of how humanity used to be. Even without the generators, at least, I'd be returning home with a new life, with a few life lessons. What's going on here? Lost in thought, I hadn't even noticed the Dan approach. It is none of your concern, but I think it's your voice, whatever. Fuck it, I can't talk anymore. Talk for the past, like, hour. My voice is starting to die. Can't I even get a few moments before I go? I suppose nobody's stopping us, but make it quick. Hey, Horizon, what's going on here? Something serious has happened. Looks like I have to leave. Right now? Why? It was the minister's decision, not mine. You'll hear about it soon enough. Does this mean? Does this have anything to do with what I've been hearing? Is Razor really a murderer? I'm afraid so. Oh. Well, what does that make you? I don't have anything to do with that. I was helping police find them. Then why are you leaving? They don't want me to stay with all that's going on. It's for my own safety. Well, it's nice to get to know you at least. Likewise. I guess I should get going. Goodbye, Horizon. Goodbye, Dan. I remember her. That was the witness from Razor's first murder. Do you know her? Yeah. I'll see. A few minutes later, we arrived at the portal, standing proud as ever. Staying proud as ever in defiance of the elements. How many years had the structure survived before it was found? I hope I can remember how this thing still works. Are you joking? Yeah, sorry. I got it. Alright, I suppose it's time for us to say goodbye. Let's keep it professional. I don't like to mix personal matters with work. He looked away, and I shrugged. Go ahead and turn on. This is... Fuck, I did it again. Dang, I really should have gone down. No, I really should have investigated more in the park, shouldn't have I? Jesus Christ. Alright. Where do you stand between the pillars, please? Of course. Took my place and stared toward the horizon while I thought about what would happen now in this world and others. Even if I made a break for it, I'd become a fugitive, no better than Reza. It'd be near impossible to investigate the case by myself while on the run in a world I knew so little about. At the very least, I took comfort in the fact that I did everything I could to help, even if it turned out like this. Nevertheless, I dreaded going back to empty-handed and returning to my old life in our new ruined city. Any second now, the teleportation process would start, disintegrating my body before I would reappear on the other side, back to my dying world. I wondered if there was any risk of getting lost somewhere between worlds. We didn't really know how the portals worked after all. Maybe I would be flung somewhere else in space-time, or might affect my body in some ways. I noticed any unusual changes in my body since I arrived in Dragon's World, but I had no way of knowing if the portals, if there were potential long-term side effects. I still remember the images I saw when I teleported the first time, the vivid sights and patterns, people and situations I had recognized since then. It only took a moment to arrive at the portal, the other side of the portal, yet it felt like I had dreamed 1,000 dreams. And during the nights I spent here, those dreams had often reappeared. Anytime now, I would undergo the same experience again. I was almost relieved that my adventure was over. Things had turned out far differently than I expected. I evaded danger, got swept into murder investigation, and met incredible, intelligent beings from several different species. It's certainly been a time to remember. With that thought, I closed my eyes and braced myself for the moment that would come any second now. But that moment never came. Ooh. Next thing that did happen was I heard Sebastian's voice. It's not working. Are you joking again? No, really, it's not working. Wait, what is this? How do you now notice that? Oh, I guess he opened it up, yeah. No, because it's bashed open. It's broken. Well, maybe zero subtle, but whatever. Can you fix it? I don't think so. This doesn't look like a simple act of vandalism. It looks like some parts were torn out. Guess that means I'm not leaving, huh? Not yet, at least. Well, what do we do now? Let's head back. Chief has to know about this right away. Well, that was certainly surprising. I actually thought I was going to get a bad ending there for not investigating. We were back at the ministry before long. Emma and Bryce were still outside as Remy approached the two of them. Here are the case files, Emma. Well, thank you. Horizon? And an officer? What is this about, Emma? That's what I'd like to know. Please, officer, enlighten me. Why has my order not been carried out? The portal is broken. It's broken? Yeah, looks like someone tampered with it and stole parts. Couldn't even get the interface to turn on. We'll check it out once I'm done here. I suppose Horizon will stay for a little longer after all. Seeing how this is an emergency situation, I'll make this short. Chief, as a result of your carelessness regarding Maverick and Razor, you are temporarily removed from your duties related to the humans. Given these dangerous times, you will instead serve as my personal escort until further notice. Considering the circumstances, you will be allowed to coordinate the investigation of the portal, but after that, you are to immediately return to me and start your new task. Understood? Understood. Then, all of you are dismissed. You turn to leave. She turned to leave, Remy trailing after her. Alright, let's head to the portal. That includes you, Horizon. Of course. In front of my eyes, spot a sheet of paper on the ground. Hey, what's this? Emma probably dropped one of the case files. Hey, assistant. You better bring that to Sebastian. I should hurry to the portal. We just stay afterwards, okay? Sure. I picked up the sheet and started reading. It was about what had happened. It's about what happened when I met Ray's at the portal. Of course, I didn't say anything I didn't already know. As I walked up the stairs, I wondered if it was okay for an unauthorized person to enter the building. All I knew about this place was Emma worked there. Shouldn't they be like 5 seconds ahead? I did have an important document that was going to be missed, so I walked inside, only to be greeted by an empty lobby. Luckily, there was some signs directing me to Emma's office. It didn't take long to find it, and I heard voices when I approached the door. By the way, what happened to the scroll you bought this morning? The last time I saw it, I did not have that tear. I dropped it. Tell me something new for once. Okay, someone else dropped it. That's not your voice. My voice is so fucking dead at this point. Honest to God. Am I supposed to believe that? Remy, are you aware of how much this costs? Repairing and replacing artifacts is not cheap. I'm afraid we will have to deduct this from your wage again. I'll say. You're not doing this on purpose, are you? Of course not. You've been working with me for a long time now. I expected you to learn at some point, but you are very resistant to do so. Not wanting to listen to this any longer, I decided to knock. There were a few seconds of silence. Please, come in. I only opened the door long enough to hand Remy the sheet of paper. I think he dropped us outside. After I closed the door and started to walk away, I heard the voices resume. This is from one of the case files you requested. You must have dropped it. Your voice changes every single time I speak with you, bro. Then why was it left outside? As my assistant, you should have paid more attention. If this got into the wrong hands, someone could get in trouble. Alright, well, this has been going. Okay, I guess I'll just stop this at 4 because my voice is gonna fucking give out and I have to record axolotl as well. Oh, I stretch. Oh, yeah. I made my way back to the portal and arrived shortly after Bryce and Sebastian. Well, I can confirm it's not turning on. I told you that already. I just want to be sure. You really think it would still work after a chunk ripped out of it? Hey, I'm not an engineer. I wouldn't know how the portal works. Is it worth another try? But it was worth it a try. There you are, Horizon. What do you make of this? I'm afraid I don't know any more than you do. I'm not an engineer either. In that case, we should start thinking about the who and when. There are patrols assigned to the portal and surrounding area day and night. If someone tampered with the portal, they must have seen something.
today's day. Patrol didn't notice anything unusual though. Oh, I guess she just missed the part about the portal being vandalized. It'd be easy to overlook. It's a small part of the machine, and it's not like she was expected to check every square inch of it with each lap around the area. What about not patrol then? When I went over the report this morning, I noticed the night patrol hadn't handed theirs in yet. And who was patrolling last night? Let me think for a minute. This schedule always goes in a certain order, so last night would have been... Is it Maverick? Or what is it? The night patrol for last night would have been Maverick. Oh, call it. Wait, why is he still on duty? Isn't he on leave? I got wrapped up in all the recent chaos. I'd forgotten to find a replacement for him when you went on sick leave. Dang, you are a police chief. Maybe Emma was right to take me off the case. So there was no night guard here at all. That's right. Whoever it was, had an easy time doing it, or whatever they wanted. Could have been Maverick. If he knew no one was going to be here, he could have used that knowledge to his advantage. He wouldn't have known that. He couldn't have known that I'd forgot to find a replacement though. I don't usually slip up like this. So what about Reza? Why'd he have done it? He'd be cutting off his own way out. No, he'd be doing something smart. If he had the part needed to repair the portal working again. He'd repair the portal work again. He's in control of who gets to use it. He's cutting off our ability to communicate with mankind. We won't be able to inform them of Ray's actions. Maybe we shouldn't have kept the investigation secret for this long. If your theory is true, that would be proof Ray's actions are his own, not humanity's. Hey, I already trust you in that. Oh, it's a stunt to grant humanity plausible deniability. No way. Things are too dire for the humans to take such extraordinary risks, especially for that. You don't know about that though. I'm sure that wouldn't be the only reason they benefit though. There must be something we're not aware of. Maybe we're looking at this from the wrong angle. If no one was here to guard the portal, anyone could have opened it. It doesn't necessarily have to have anything to do with Reza or Maverick. But they still have the greatest motives. Sure, but they definitely aren't the ones who... God damn, there's no who! Sure, but they definitely aren't the ones to have one. There could be private groups who are interested in technology or its significance as a human artifact. So that puts us exactly in nowhere. At least as far as speculation is concerned, it's about time for forensics to show up. Anyway, let's hope they can pull some clues. Alright. You guys correct me in the comments, but none of you have watched this. But, doesn't forensics still want to fight dead body stuff? Oh no, because... Well... Yeah, they look at, like, murder scenes. It's the detectives that investigate the situation, right? I don't know. I know nothing about police. Sebastian, can you take it from here? You've been just as dedicated to the case as I have since I'll have to be at the minister's side for a while. I'd like you to take charge on the investigation for now. Thanks, Chief. I won't let you down. What's up with that anyway? Being appointed to Emerald's bodyguard as punishment just seems kind of strange. Are you kidding? I could have lost my job. This is a better outcome. Honestly, she probably did it for her own sake more than anything else. But I'm not complaining. If that's all, I'm gonna head back to ministry. I shouldn't keep her waiting. So what does that make you now? Temporary chief? More like case leader. By the way, you won't need to stick around while forensics does their job. Thanks for your help. I'll assume you can find your way back to your apartment. Yeah, of course. Alright, I'll see you later then. See you. It's been spending my free time roaming the town, but I decided it would be best to keep myself out of the spotlight. After cooking myself a rudimentary meal, instead of picking up another book when the doorbell rang. Who's at that doorbell? I don't know, because I'm going to stop the episode here. Lol XD.